meat in the freezer.
So happy I'm on lunch.
It's so stupid. I think it might work.
Chaos? Like every hunting season.
Seems like it's not going anywhere, but it also seems like it could go somewhere.
He lost his paper bag, I swear.
I will not. I'm actually pretty good directionally. It's all good.
You're sorted.
I don't even know what to do.
It's opposite day, as my kids would say.
My kids say that all the time.
Every day.
They're like, oh, mom, you're dad, and dad, you're mom. I'm like, this has got more confusing than it normally is.
I don't like this game. Please no.
Let's kick off the new year. Let's hit the button.
This is the okayest Hunter
Cheers.
podcast.
Cheers.
Never pass on shooter bucks. That's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is okayest Hunter.
Oh, I'm number 4. What are you?
I don't know.
Are you number 2?
No.
Are you number 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that
yes,
too loud?
Yeah, a little bit lower there.
There
we go. There we go.
All right.
That's the right neighborhood.
So you're 3 and I'm 4, so I can turn off 1 and 2. Nope, you're 2.
I couldn't even tell which one I could when you were adjusting volume.
I can turn off 3. So you're okay.
I'm 2.
That's good.
I'm 2.
Welcome back to the Okayest Hunter podcast.
Happy New Year.
2026.
Here we go.
New year, new me.
We must be doing something different here. Neither of us have bourbon or scotch.
I don't know if I had any clean glasses for starters.
That's
And
the main issue.
I feel like a little under the weather, just enough that I don't really feel like making my life harder tomorrow.
Smart, probably.
A little bit of bourbon probably would kill some germs, but it'd probably also like kill my morale for the productive work week. And it is full steam ahead.
We're back at it.
Right in it. We're brought to you by Nosler. We'll be meeting with Nosler at SHOT at the end of this month. So excited to catch up with those guys and see what's going on. We're going to probably meet up with the Latitude folks at ATM going there this week, leaving on Thursday, even though it starts, I think, tomorrow. So I'll be missing out on the country concert. Wah, wah, wah. I don't really care about that shit.
If they're just handing out method 3s, just grab a couple for us.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be fun. So see, they are launching a new product, I think, at ATA, and it may be the new pack. We just saw the new frame pack.
Ooh.
Yeah, what's it called?
Is ATA
Archery
before SHOT?
Yeah, it's before.
Okay.
And it's changed a lot over the years. I think I have very strong opinions about it, but I'm going to be nice and be hopeful for this year. Can you spin that so it's? I must have like caught some wind. Sorry.
Maybe I've heard it. Sorry.
Sorry there, Fred. All right, whatever. That's good. Thanks, buddy. Just looked sad facing the wall.
Don't be sad.
So excited to see Latitude and their new product they're dropping. I believe TJ's gonna be there with Rack Hub. I don't think Gerber has a presence there. I don't think Nosler has a presence there. Archery trade show, like it's a pretty small show in contrast to SHOT. It's a fairly large show in general. Like it's bigger than your average consumer show that you go to at the state fair park, or whatever. But it's contracted quite a bit over the years. Glenn Reich is a pal of mine. He's been putting together something called the Power Dinner for several years. So a lot of the bigger brands that are there at the show come to that. And it's a really fun dinner appetizer thing.
Rub elbows with all the guys,
catch up with everybody,
and gals.
Other podcasters and everybody else too. So yeah, it'll be fun to see people. I'll bounce in and bounce out, like hopping in Thursday and leaving on Friday right away. So just super quick. It's a 5-hour drive-ish. It's not bad to Indiana. So I have a lot of time in the car to listen to podcasts, books, and talk to people.
It'll be good, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Tyler.
No, Tyler's in he's going, is it to Nebraska? I think he's going on a pheasant hunt trip.
Maybe Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? That might be it.
Something out that direction.
Yeah, he can't make it most years because of this trip. Much like the Dell's trade show, you have a trip. So like there's just certain things that people have that are like fixtures in their life.
Yeah.
This is the season we're at with that. Excited to be back here. We're going to be, with your help, of course, when I'm pointing at that nobody can see, there's a whole,
is that cool?
there's a whole, so this space we're in is 2,000 square foot for those that don't know. And we're in a really small room. We got windows behind me here. So that was a little, it came this way, but it was intentional to put the studio in here because we thought it'd be fun if we had people in town. They can look through the glass and still hang out there without disrupting what's happening in here. And it's kind of fun to see. But we want to put a bit more intentionality into that room over there for you to do some stuff.
Yeah, which should be fun. You just purchased a big giant school whiteboard. So we're going to be drawing up some maps, hopefully, and doing some different scouting and hunting scenarios and just kind of talking through that kind of stuff along with the dropping pin stuff, which
I think it works well.
I'm working on something that'll tie into what we're talking about today too, that we'll talk about, we'll kind of bring up later and all, because I'm excited for that also. But yeah, I really was meaning to sit down and finally record like a recap of just the 2 bucks from this season.
Yeah.
And man, I just could not find the right time to do it. And so I just did what I've been doing for 3 months, put it off. I was like, I'll do it next week.
What? It's fine. It's not going anywhere. I don't think people are going anywhere. It's all good. But there is like anticipation, I think, I think OKS Hunter has followers and we have people that like the brand, but inside of that, we have people that specifically like Derek and what Derek talks about. Much like we probably have people that like what I talk about, or Tyler. Like, you know, we all kind of got our role here, and yours is what I appreciate about you, and I've said this out loud before, is you're a guy that can get it done and consistently. You put in the effort. It's all not because you're lucky or a savant. Maybe you are a savant, but you work hard for it, and you do it in a way that doesn't really have a lot of ego involved. And I don't know how hard that is for you to work at that, if it comes naturally or not, but it doesn't come through when I see it, and I think when others see it. So it makes you really approachable for people that.
Well, I appreciate that.
As someone who's a teacher, someone who grew up, you know, we all went to school at some point. There's certain times when you just didn't want to ask a question because it felt like it could be embarrassing to be put on the spot, and you don't want to come off dumb. You'll never make someone feel dumb for having a question. So you, as a teacher, are very approachable for this community, for people to ask questions, and it's okay.
I mean, and that's great. And I appreciate, you know, being someone that the deer hunting folks online can talk to. And I love fielding questions and talking scenarios. And, you know, in the classroom, it's great because I'm even more approachable to these students because they're all pretty much taller than me. So it makes me very easy to talk to as an adult figure in the room. Teachers come looking for me. They're like, is your teacher in here? And they're like, yeah, he's over there. Thanks, guys.
If you ever shave your beard, it might be concerning.
Yeah, that's the main reason I have a beard. So I don't get stopped for the hall pass when I'm walking down the hallway.
That's hilarious. No, so anyway, like I'm excited to get this outfitted for you, and I think I set the tone maybe incorrectly in such a way that I was like, make it like your classroom, because I know when Holly, my wife, was a teacher, she was responsible for setting up her classroom. Like she had to buy the stuff, get all of it. I was like, wow, I didn't know teachers did that. So I'm more or less like, that is your room. You set it up however the hell you want.
I hear you, man.
I'll help you, of course, but like it needs to be your thing.
We can make something pretty sweet.
Yeah. And hopefully we can scrape some dollars from somewhere to make it cooler than maybe it would be to just, you know, do it.
You've
for free.
been in my house, you know, we're doing it on the cheap. We're good at figuring out ways to make it work.
Yeah. Well, I guess today's topic is a little bit winter scouting. I took the kids out the other day. I think it was a bit of a trek for them. I think it's about a little over a mile back to that spot. And most of it's pretty easy. Like you walk this road. There's a hut that's like, I think, meant for people that have accessibility issues. So I think there's a bit of a blind for someone that might be in a wheelchair that they can go hunt out of. So
that's cool.
If you do, they have a gate and then you open the gate and it's a road. Anyway, so you walk this road all the way back and then eventually you get off the path. And so I thought, well, if we can walk this road and that'll be pretty easy for them. And then we'll get off the path. And then I'm going to so I took a break off the path and I was like, okay, let's have a snack break, get some water.
Smart.
Are you guys warm? Are you okay? Are you going to handle it? They've also been sick and coughing and stuff. So I was just like, I don't want to push it too hard.
A lot of fresh air.
I have their inhalers with me just in case. Like, and then they were like totally fine. So we ventured out and got off the beaten path and got to the first spot where the trail cam was hung that you climbed the tree for. That one was still there, which was a total bitch to
That's why it was still there. This was a total bitch for you to get
Even
down.
when I got up there, it's hard to... Luckily, I actually had my Gerber multi-tool. And if I didn't have that, I don't think I could have got it with just fingernails. Like, I don't think I could have loosened the straps because it was a strap and line.
A rope. Yeah. And those little ropes that I have on my little homemade public land hangers, I tell you what, man, you leave them out there for a month and a half, 2 months. And if you like have anything, if it's like an actual knot,
it was a knot
that it just hardens, right? Like the fabric, whatever the strands are, that outer sheath around that stuff, it like freaking hardens. And finally I just cut them. Like,
Oh, I didn't want to do that because I have your contraption in my pack because I was like, I'm not gonna not get this for Derek. It's his.
Well,
I'm sure it's just a little bullshit hardware thing, and he probably doesn't care. But
12
at one point in my mind, I'm up here, my kids are all at the bottom. Dane's climbing the tree up behind me. He actually got almost as high as I did, and I was like, dude, I can't help you right now, so you need to be careful. If you follow this tree, your mom's gonna kill me. If I follow the tree, you guys are stuck out here.
If I land on you guys, you're really screwed.
Like, it was just the dogs are running around, and yeah, whatever. So like, I eventually got it all undone. Like literally, the Gerber thing saved the day. I wouldn't have gotten it. So then I went to the next spot, and the trail cam was gone. And then I was looking at stuff. I was looking for sign, and we were taking some little curvy ways through some brushy stuff, some of the stuff that you and I had walked through last summer.
Probably looked a lot different than we were there in August.
It did. There wasn't a lot of sign.
No.
That like there's one small tree rubbed up, and it wasn't a real high rub, so it didn't lead me to believe much activity was really happening. There's a lot of bird hunters back there though too. Like most of what that camera picked up in at the end of October before it died was dogs and bird hunters waving at the camera, like they saw it. Hey, dude, howdy, like that kind of stuff. And so nice of them, but they weren't stealing that one. Like you said, it was a pain in the ass to get up there.
Good on them for even seeing it.
It wasn't easy to see them coming from the backside. You don't really see it at all unless you're right there. Yeah. Someone commented, were you trying to get pictures of squirrels? I'm like, oh, maybe. But I actually didn't get any.
None.
No squirrels.
It's impressive. So one of the cell cameras, the Moultrie's, stolen, which you and I
presume it was stolen. Yeah. It was weird. The strap was still on the tree and the camera's not there. So they must have cut it. And
maybe they just chucked it, like, man, I don't know. Like, what can you do if you steal somebody's cell camera? Like, I don't think you can ever use it.
Because the EIN is like tied to me.
It's tied to all your logins, your accounts. So
what do you do with that?
Maybe they just got mad they had one there and they took it off the tree and just chucked it into the brush or something.
I wonder what I would never. I wouldn't steal anything for starters. I mean, even when I see a camera, I'm like, damn it, and I wave. That's kind of it. I'm not flipping people off. I'm not mooning them, which if I knew who it was, maybe. I did fall out of a tree. And
we were hoping
didn't show up on your camera like I thought I would.
You called me. You were like all excited. You're like, oh, I fell out of a tree. And I was like, what? And you're like, check your cell cam, see if it got it. I had you, but I did not have the moment of truth.
It was a pretty precarious situation. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't actually get hurt.
Did you see? There was snow out there. There probably wasn't much for deer tracks.
There were actually, so I did notice, where were we? There was a spot where I did notice tracks that were a little bit bigger. Like it would have been something larger. Whether a doe or buck, I don't actually know. But I remember pointing them out to the kids. I'm like, this is a big track. And I got Eddie out there. He's got pretty big paws. Like they're big prints.
It's a big dog.
Eddie's a big dog. It's like his print compared to this deer. Like it was kind of walking on the same path or whatever. And I was like, that's a big deer print. But I don't know. I was a little curious. I couldn't do too much. I really that's a give and take. Like you want to bring your kids, but you also want to like. There's some other spots that I still wanted to check that I'm like looking at. I'm like, we're not gonna do it. I can't. It's gonna get dark and we trapped over 3 kids.
Of how far can I push this envelope, and that's not the envelope to push.
Yeah, and the young one, like he's got more energy than anybody, but in these situations, he starts to just melt down, like literally. Dead weight, drops to the ground. I'm like, you better move it, bud. Well, I'm not. We're leaving without you. Then he gets up and runs, crying at me, thinking I'm actually leaving behind. I'm like, I have most of them on camera. I should watch it. I'm just barking at them the whole time. Let's go, keep it up, move it, brisk pace. Let's go. 3, 4, we gotta cover ground. I'm like probably a total asshole.
Put the log down. Put the log down.
Yeah, not good.
But good on you for getting everybody out. And then given, I'm sure Holly appreciated some quiet time to do. I'm sure she wasn't relaxing. She's probably doing schoolwork.
I actually wanted her to come with, but we had stuff to do at home. And she's like, you guys get to go do the fun stuff. I was like, you want to call it fun? Go for it. But I prefer if you could make it, actually.
Call it the death march.
I bet you if she would have came, we probably wouldn't have gotten the cameras. Because like, not even a quarter way in, the kids are starting to like melt down out of the gate. And I was like, get it together, guys. We're going.
Toughen up, kiddos.
Yeah. This is what I want. This is part of my like dad life stuff. I want to get some adversity.
Yeah.
But it's like I call it controlled adversity because like we're gonna go back to the van. We're gonna make it home. It's gonna be fine. But I want them to think that this is like a journey that they have to overcome.
It's a challenge.
By the end, they're like, my face is cold. I can't feel my face. I'm like, good.
Isn't that cool?
You're gonna love it when we get to the van then. I'm hungry. Good. You're gonna be really hungry when we get home. My legs hurt. Good. That means you're working out. They should be sore.
What kind of snacks did you bring?
Well, I forgot them at the van. So like really fucked it up. I had a bunch of like those little mini chocolate and powdered donuts.
Oh yeah.
So
Like
they got back
host-
to the van. They just went to town on the donut bag.
Yeah, if you're ever bringing kids out in the woods, just shove a couple granola bars in your
That would-
pocket,
yeah.
and usually that's just a nice little treat. My kids always love chocolate chip Sunbelt cheapy granola bars,
Yes.
so you bring some of
They're
those.
chewy in the cold.
And we always just we find a log. All right,
Mhm.
somebody find us a log, and that was like the fun part, finding a log to sit on. And we sit down and have a
Eat your
granola
snack.
bar. Then it was right back to Dad going, "All right, everybody up, grab your wrappers, let's go. We got 2
I
miles
was
to
proud.
go."
I was proud of myself for remembering. Okay, I got to stop. I got to check in with them. I got to make sure they can breathe, that they're warm. Like we'll take a break. We took a couple breaks, and I think they like the breaks because they're just
Yeah.
Like I think there's a picture of Tyler laying in the grass during our deer drive from 2 years ago. We like to do that. Of course, the kids like to do that.
Who doesn't love a break?
Laying in the grass.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, not much winter scouting, but I can see the appeal. And for me, you bought Gus a gun. I think I'm gonna go buy like a 22 or something for the kids. I'm gonna really do some small game hunting this season, and
Heck
just
yeah.
I don't care if we get anything, but mostly just after some squirrels and maybe some bunnies. And I want to just get out more and more and more as much as humanly possible with these little humans because they just are better humans when they're outside. They're nicer to each other. They're nicer when they get back home. It's very clear that they need that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and I enjoy it to a degree. You hit your threshold, but it's overall positive. So for me, the big 2026 goal is outdoors more and with the kids more. And so I might be reaching out to Zach to figure out like some beginner trapping stuff
Mhm.
and do 22. Like there's gonna be more of that going on.
Heck yeah. BB guns, 22s.
Just gotta get through the sick bullshit that we've all been on.
When I went for a walk this past weekend, because I also was collecting the last few trail cams, and I got to a spot, and I'm not a squirrel hunter per se. I've never gone out specifically for squirrels. I know Greg talks about all that, but it made me want to go out for squirrels because the spot I was sitting in, there was like 6 big old gray
Big
squirrels
squirrels,
running
like a
around.
huge-
And I was like, if I had a 20, I probably wouldn't see any of them. But it made me really want to be like, Gus, let's go shoot some squirrels.
Yeah.
Kids been dying to go ice fishing, so we're heading up to the cabin this weekend. It was my wife's birthday last weekend, so we stayed home, celebrated. We took her out for Mexican and all that good stuff. And then my parents wanted to celebrate with her, so they were going to come down. And I said, "Hey, Gus really wants to go up north and want to do some ice fishing. You want to go celebrate up north?" So the whole family's going to go up to the cabin. My
Mhm.
parents are up there, and we're going to try some ice fishing, which, truth be told, and Dad and Mom, if they're listening, we all know that we're not very good ice fishermen. Like we would not catch any fish, probably. Like we'd go
something.
out and like kill some time, but we're shit ice
Just
fishermen.
find a
Like,
drop
we're
off and drill some
terrible,
holes
bro.
along the
We're-
drop off. That
We're
always
terrible
works.
at it. But our buddy Bo,
Do
was
you have
like,
a Vexlar or a Markham or anything?
nope.
Because that will help you a whole bunch. If
Yeah.
you get your hand on one of those,
Yeah.
borrow one if you have to.
We just like the unsuccessfulness of sitting around and guessing how deep it is. What do you think? Drop that thing down there.
Yeah, you can do your little depth finder with a little weighted.
Bo's
clip
gonna
on.
go up ice fishing
Okay.
on Pelican Lake by his dad's, and he was like, "Dude, if you guys are out, like somebody should come ice fishing with us." So if Gus really has the itch, and whether maybe the girls
Ice
want to
fishing's
come,
great
or
because you
don't,
can put them in a shanty with the heater.
well, and those guys have like they make fish cribs every year and
Oh,
drop them
dude,
down, so
sweet.
they will pop their shanty up over a fish crib.
Yeah.
And that lake is full of smallmouth, which like
There's a stuff
aren't super awesome for table fare. They're
Yeah.
not known for that, but man, are they pull 19-inch smallmouth out of the ice? Like that's fun as hell.
Yeah.
So if I can make that happen and get Gus on a couple big smallmouth, that'd be a lot of fun. He'd
Dude.
remember that.
Send pictures.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
That's fun. So you're gonna do? Are you gonna do any scouting while you're up there then?
It's
in the big
possible.
woods, or
Oh
are you
yeah,
trying
it's
to?
possible.
I know you're gonna be changing things up a little bit down here. Maybe like, are you gonna? Because you kind of hit the thing you were after last season. You've been after for several seasons, which is
Yes.
to kill a big buck in the big woods down here,
Yeah, the marsh shit hole down here.
which you have done. So I don't know if that's still gonna be a geographical focal point for you. If you're gonna start to like, soar over different areas and dive in and weave in different spots, or I'm just curious. I want to lay the foundation of what Derek is trying to accomplish to back into the tactics you're going to deploy from like the lens you want to scout from this year.
That's a really astute observation. And I guess I have had some interest in trying out some new areas.
Mhm.
I definitely want to do more up north, but it's still hard when the kids are the age they are. Once Gus starts like archery hunting, then it's like way easier because like bring them up to go hunting.
Mhm.
Right now, to bring them up for me to like leave them to go to the woods, it's not ideal.
No,
like
right.
we're gonna go fishing or we're gonna go walking or something.
Yeah.
Like, so anytime I go up north now, it'll be mostly for shed hunting, which is very different
Easy to
than
do
like
with kids,
scouting.
kinda,
Yep.
yeah.
Like we're gonna find some
Easy.
oak stuff off the roads. We're gonna be looking at wherever deer are now, which should be fairly easy to tell. Which doesn't really relate to like any of their sign from the fall, like rub scrapes. None of that's going to matter if we're looking for antlers. We want to know where they are right now. So that'll be a little bit different. As far as around here, I've been looking at a couple different properties, and I got a couple on my radar that I've never been to.
Okay.
That are bigger properties that I would like.
Like known, like you don't have to don't say them. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah, pretty well known.
because any
I'm sure
bigger
there's-
property around here, relatively speaking, is pretty known. Like Jefferson Marsh, there's Allenton Marsh, Southern Kettle. Like there's only so many
Teresa.
pockets of big
Yep.
areas, and
Mhm.
but they're still difficult. And
Well,
even
yeah.
if they're widely known, not everyone's like in them intimately.
And it's one of those situations where I feel like solid wooded pieces up north, national forest stuff, like people can spread out.
Mhm.
And the bigger pieces down here, say it's like a 2,000 acre piece,
It still gets hit.
very little of it has any sort of like huntable
Yeah.
woods for people. So you're getting a concentration of people in 20% of the area, right? And the rest is kind of just
Couple hardcore guys that might be bumping into each
It
other.
is what it is. So you run into that issue too. But I've got some spots like that I'm very interested in scouting. I'm in looking at just to mix it up and do something a little bit different. I'm still very interested in hunting the stuff that I have hunted and whatnot.
You've built
but,
a lot of knowledge.
but I
that's
also really
compounded.
like looking at new shit. Like
Yeah.
that's like what I get excited about. And just checking this last weekend, I hung a camera in August. I scouted this new property. Talking with my buddy Matt, and he was like making some suggestions for areas, and I looked up some properties and I walked most of them. And this one property I kind of liked. These are not big. They're like all of them
I
are
like those kind of
under
properties a
like
lot.
300 or 400 acres
Yeah.
for sure. And this one I kind of liked because it was not a lot of huntable trees. There was still some hunter sign, but it was a good mix of terrain of cover. And I hung a camera in kind of a silly spot. I thought it was going to be really good early season because there's pockets of brush, real thick, little lowland growing willow kind of stuff, and then lots of grass and mixed trees, but like little pockets. And the pockets I'm talking like big as this room. And one of the pockets that I found in the back corner had rubs all the way around it, all small rubs on willows, but
Mhm.
like
We
a
talked
lot
about
of
sometimes if
rubs.
that's the only tree they have to rub on,
It's
it
the
doesn't
only
really
tree that's there,
matter that it's
and
the
they're
tree.
like ripped, like
Yeah.
shredded, broken, and a lot of them. So you could tell it's like early season, probably buck bedding. It's laying in this little pocket. There's some ag fields not far away. Makes sense. So I made a mock scrape in between his little cluster and where some private fields are, a nice little grassy opening. I went and pulled that camera. This last weekend, a couple days ago, 3 days ago. Hung since August and had some really good bucks on it. Some really nice ones, and one what I would consider a really, really
How-
big buck.
I saw the photo of that one. I don't see deer that big.
That's one
I've
of the
never
bigger
captured
deer
one
I've
even on a
ever
camera
gotten
that
on
big.
camera down here.
I would have a hard time. Is that close to 200 inches?
No,
Okay.
that's like a 160.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it? You're just saying that because you're on a podcast?
No,
I'm just kidding.
that's a huge
It
deer.
is big.
160 inches is a big
It is,
deer. I don't care where you're hunting. That's a big deer.
But it was
I'd say this is like a
whoa.
165-ish
Okay.
gross buck, which is a really big deer to get on public around here. And he was there for a couple days, a couple different days, daylight a little bit.
What time of year was he there?
So what I found out from the camera was there was bucks living there early season, but they're mostly young ones.
Mhm.
1 or 2 3-year-olds coming through there. And then there's a lot of does, pockets of does in there. And as soon as does, so November 4th, I probably had 7 different bucks come by that camera in daylight. So that tells me obviously
Cruising or
there's
something.
there's a doe in that group or multiple does that live there that she's going to come in November 4th of next year within 3 or 4 day window of that. I would guess she's going to come into heat again. So that'd be a good day to go hunt there. And then like the 11th, another hot doe was in there, chasing back and forth all over. And then that big one was actually also in there on the 21st I think was
Wow.
our gun opener.
Yeah, so maybe someone
In
pushed
the
him out.
daylight.
Maybe
he was
someone
in
pushed
there
him out of another area.
with a doe. And then he was in there the next day also,
Huh.
the 22nd. And then I didn't get him after that. So he could be dead. But I instantly was pissed. Like looking at these pictures, I was like, man, that's a really nice deer. Multiple days, wasn't like totally random. But I'm in the back corner of this little property. I'm like, I can't freaking do what I want to do. Like I can't go figure out where this deer's living. Like he's not living on this property. He's coming through it. But I was like, already just pissed because I'm like, I just want to go like figure out where he is. And on like the bigger pieces of public,
You could probably
that's what I like to
figure
do.
that out. You could probably
'Cause
zero in on it.
yeah, you can't hide where he lives. Like I'll find it, but now he can hide it because there's property
can't.
lines, and that just sucks.
Interesting. I saw what I would consider a really big buck. I'd have to show it to you. Didn't tell me what you think. It just looked like a lot of mass, not super tall. I don't know about width because like it was a profile view that
Mhm.
a neighbor took of a deer, and it was on public. I was like, that's public where you took that photo, but it's small public,
Yeah,
and it's surrounded by a lot of like homes. Like for all I know, this deer could be living in someone's backyard.
which it very well could be.
Like I've never seen this deer around here before. I drive all over. I take long routes. I'm always looking for shit, just because it's fun to see deer. And I've talked about like when I take my kid to daycare in the mornings, like I always see doe bedded on this ridge,
Yeah,
and I'm
you're
like, oh, okay, the wind's going this way today. Like that's why they're there, or like maybe they're soaking up the sun rays to warm up. Whatever. Like it's really interesting to just kind of see them behaving out in wild, even though they're not even huntable. It's cool to see what they're doing. So anyway, I would love to get your take on that because in some cases you're right. You can't even if you could figure out where they live, which personally I don't think I would have that level of confidence in myself. But if the property's small, good luck.
well, it becomes a crapshoot, right? You
Yeah.
still got a good chance of getting
Yeah.
him. He was there in daylight, but it's just like that's I don't like playing that game. I just don't like it.
So you're just mad.
I was just mad, and I remember a scenario. Everybody's got a scenario probably like this, and Lee Ellis talked about this when we had him on the podcast back in the day with his little suburban properties. But like to me, that's not like fun. Like worrying about property lines, worrying about if
tricky.
I shoot it, is it going to run on somebody else's? Like
Yeah.
I found a lot of good spots that are in real tight quarters like that, and that's not fun. Like that causes me so much stress and anxiety that like I'd rather just bail on that spot and go find a spot in the middle of public where I don't have to worry about it. Because
We've heard so many horror stories of not being able to retrieve a
Oh
deer
my
because it's on someone else's property, and they're like, no. They just say no.
dude, I couldn't do that. I'd take the trespassing fine.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I'm gonna go get it. You can find me. Call it. Or like I'll pay the fine, but I'm not letting that deer live.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
That's weird that people behave that way. I can never understand that, especially when it's another hunter. Like that would sting. Why are you trying to be that way? It's weird. But I think Liel said one time he had like tracked a deer across a few different yards, and like the blood trail went across some dude that was partying overnight or something like that. Like the blood trail was over a human
And then
because they
the
were passed
deer,
out in the
remember
yard.
the deer died in a pool.
In a pool.
The pool was all full of blood. I had to like pay
Yeah.
to get the pool pumped.
Could you imagine? Like I wouldn't be able to want to. That's rough, man. That's
that's a whole
crazy.
different set of. It's a whole different set, man. But it works for him.
what he didn't tell us is he did that on purpose. Like that. What's the freaking show or the movie where there's the dead horse in the pool?
Dead horse in the pool.
That's a
don't
movie.
know.
It's like a
I
thing.
can't think of this.
It was like The Godfather or something,
Oh yeah, what?
right? This is The Godfather,
Isn't it the horse?
or maybe
A
it's a
horse head in the bed or something?
I don't know. There's some,
I don't
but
know.
it's like,
Somebody
no, he
straighten
did
us
that to
out.
send a message. That was not accidental. I can't stop. I'm gonna eat this. This damn Quick Trip food is really good. I can't
That
keep
chicken
myself from it.
enchilada bowl you got is excellent.
Oh, I love it. The take-home meals are really nice and toasty. And it was a from work to podcast studio mad dash rush, and this is my dinner. So
It's perfect.
yeah. So one of the things that I'm curious about to hear from you, and you've talked about this before, but historical sign versus like I never had thought about that in the past when I was scouting any point in time during the season. I saw a rub and I was like, ooh, rub. And I would probably know like, ooh, that one's old because it's all faded out. But then unfortunately what I would do postseason, like now, I'd see a fresh rub and think, ooh, fresh rub. That's great to see a fresh rub when you're scouting your way in during like the rut or something, or shortly there beforehand, like pre-rut. Doesn't mean what I think it should mean right now, but I still have the same attraction and allure to it.
Oh yeah, we all do, right?
You see it and you're like, ooh, that's fresh. That was but like you get excited, but I don't know what that means for me for like, oh, should I be thinking about this for next season this time, or is that good now? Or you're really good at like compartmentalizing or isolating. This rub was made this time, this rub was made that time, and this is what that means, and this is how I can take advantage of that intel.
Well, I think that the question you asked is really a good one, and one that we should ask ourselves every time we're scouting, especially postseason, because in an area that's, yeah, let's just say like public ground or even private ground, but like where food is mass crop, any kind of oaks, like this is where you get in trouble, and we've gotten up in trouble a lot up north doing this, is we spend a lot of time postseason scouting because you can see forever, leaves are off. It looks just like it did mid-November, late November, all the sign is still there. You walk around, you can see forever. So you're seeing rubs and scrapes, and you find this pocket and there's big rubs all over. If you're in anywhere that's got acorns or seasonal crops, those rubs don't mean shit for the next year because there's not going to be acorns there. So how many times have we gone out in late season,
this looks so good, you get blinded by it.
I'm picking trees and this and that, and then all of a sudden the next season, there's no deers there because there's no acorns there that year. In another year or two, it's going to be great again. But if you're scouting a spot that's got seasonal dependency on food, that food source is going to change next year, you can kind of write off those rubs for the next season because that deer is going to shift to some other food source that's in a different direction probably. So that's something that you definitely need to think of. And it works the opposite way too, that if you're in an area that is mostly just native browse, high stem count stuff, and there's good sign there, there's probably going to be good sign there next year. So when you're in those kind of areas, take note of everything you find. And then you start trying to age out those rubs. This looks like it was made during rut. It's really fresh looking, still really bright. This one looks like it was made a month, 2 months beforehand. Well, now you've just figured out two different spots to hunt, early October to the rut. And you want to start paying attention to how those are kind of fitting into the puzzle. So you got to kind of see.
And rubs are your most
the woods
telltale scouting signal. Are they not?
For me,
that or a big track, like
those two things together are huge.
Some of us, like when I was getting into hunting and just learning how to read deer sign in general, it was deer tracks, deer poop, deer beds, just kind of affiliating myself with those things, like, oh, this is where deer are, this is where deer are going. So I'd see a nice travel corridor or a hub, and I'd be like, ooh, they're moving here. Like I didn't start to get to those next ripples of rubs. Oh, history of the rub. When was this made? Like these are things that are 201, 301 courses, not the 101. But you just posted a scouting video on our YouTube channel the other day, and you were talking about a bit of a travel like hub or corridor where it wasn't just that there was one big trail, because there's a lot of intersections and intersecting happening.
Yeah.
So talk about what happens when trails come together and what you're looking for then.
So, that spot in particular, and what I really liked about that spot, and you're not able to see it too much in the video. You can see it a little bit, but this area's got basically some hardwoods, gets a lot of hunting pressure, and then there's a transition into a lot of buckthorn, really thick, low to the ground, nasty stuff. Not a ton of browse in there because the buckthorn chokes out all sunlight. So there's not a ton of good stuff growing in there, but it's really thick. And then it gets into little pockets of wet, and then it kind of transitions into a little bit of more wet with popple, willow, lower brush, a little bit of red brush, and then it kind of transitions into more open, grassy stuff with pockets of brush. So the little spot I found there that I really liked, and I was thinking about putting a trail camera, is right on the second transition in from the hardwoods. So not where the buckthorn met the hardwoods, but where the buckthorn met grass and popples, and that's where a lot of sign was. So this trail's kind of running parallel to that interior edge. You hunt the outer edge, deer come in acorns, you got a chance of seeing some deer, but it seemed like, you saw the video, a lot of those rubs are in the security cover, probably just waiting. It wasn't far to go to the acorns, so they're waiting there. So there's trails coming along the edge, this nice thick interior edge, and then coming out to both different transitions basically. So they're kind of like probably bedding somewhere along one of those little edges in there, a little grassy pocket, little red brush, and then they're basically working those transitions. And then Are they going into the hardwoods here, or are they going out across the grass to another patch? So that spot was right where there was a little grassy opening on the inside, and the trails were kind of coming around it. And right at the head of that little grassy opening, there were some popples, big rub line coming out, and then that little waterway, slight little raised hump, which was kind of like a natural travel corridor. And they had a huge rub line that they rubbed for years coming down there. I was like, man, what a great spot for a camera to see which way they're going into bed in the morning or coming out in the evening. And it's in cover. So you're going to probably get some daylight movement and know what they're kind of doing in there.
Work backwards now a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a hard time interpreting a lot of this stuff. And I'm thinking I have a very specific spot in my mind that I'm going to show you after this on Onyx. And I want to get I want to share with you what I saw last season in there. And I think it's more huntable than I would have considered. And I also think I kicked up something back there that would have been decent. Without knowing for sure, I have some hunches just based on time of year, what was going on, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't super huntable. And I think there are ways to set up in that stuff. But like you talk about these larger properties or the smaller ones where like 20% of the pressure is going to be in, or 100% of the pressure is going to be 20% of the property, or whatever that language is. So then you're thinking about the other portions of property that are less appealing to a hunter in terms of like ability to set up in a tree and have a vantage point and all this stuff. That it's not huntable aspect that I've been like, it's been enamored in my brain now for a couple of years because of you. Thank you. I'm still trying to figure out that like, what is too close? What like outer edge, inner edge? Like you're probably still trying to do that too, but it's really it's really tough. And I think my thing is I don't know enough. I'm too clunky that I actually have pushed in too far. Oh, because I also hear Greg's voice in my head where he's like, you didn't go far enough. So I'm like, damn it. There's a too far, not far enough. And I struggle in that, like, I'm in the game. I'm in the red zone. I could probably hit in the end zone, but I'm just not being as wise as I could be. I
don't know. I don't think it's you or your level of
interpretation
wisdom.
Of sign.
I think that a lot of the terrain down here between what I'm up toward my house versus coming down, there's so many, so much of our public, right, is just the stuff that wasn't tillable for private ground. So it's, lowland shit. So much of it is just so diverse, which is great, but it's like literally pockets, right? So there's like little openings and then little thickets again, then little openings, then like so the bedding area is 40 acres. So you're walking in trying to decide where to stop. Well, you don't know if he's going to be on this side of the little opening or that side or the next one, because there's so many little micro diversities within there that they feel safe using, and that they use all of them. And they probably get up during the day and use 3 different ones during one day. That it's almost, you can't know whether you're far enough or not. You just make a guess and hope you're freaking right.
Well, that's good to hear someone like you say that. But I'd be curious to hear I know we're kind of getting out of like winter scouting or whatever. So keep us grounded there as much as you think you can based on where I'm asking questions around. But when I hunted the first sit of the year last season, I intended that to mostly be an observation sit. And I was completely flabbergasted that I didn't see shit get out of its bed. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't hunt till last light that day. I had to get out in the afternoon because I had stuff to go do, which was just how it is, I guess. Like, but at the time I was there, nothing stood up out of its bed. So I felt like I kind of got robbed out of a hunt that could have served me better. Yeah. Had I planned it to be up till last light to see what's getting up and moving about, because I'm convinced that there were deer there and I just didn't see them in the duration that I was hunting. Because you're like, you didn't see anything? I was like, no, man, I was glassing the whole time. Like that whole entire spot was pure vantage. And it was mostly, in my mind, designed to tell me where to go on the next hunt. And then I didn't get that intel. So then that spot never worked out great, especially once the bird hunters cat at it. Like it just, then it was all over. At least that's my 2 cents on it. But to that point, I think observation sits have changed in my mind, because I always thought like, that's like drinking decaf coffee. What's the fucking point?
That's like, how I've always been. If I can go
hunt, why not I just hunt? So I would be hunting, but I also would use that as a tier of patience to be like, let me post up further away and watch. If I'm not confident, or I'm too worried that I'm gonna mess something up, I can post up here and gain intel, and then I can try to make the next move.
Mhm.
I did that one season, and then I made the move, and I think I was talking to you and Greg because I was hunting a conservation property.
Yep.
And I was like, there's a buck tending a doe. This is great. I'm going to make my move. And tomorrow I'm going to hunt right where I saw them. They were gone. Weren't there. Didn't work. So like I made my move and it didn't matter. So like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But it feels like I know a lot of guys that talk about observation sits. And I always thought like, why would you even bother? Why would you just go hunt? You're not hunting, but you're maybe just not being as aggressive.
I think I've never been an observation sit hunter. I've never really. So many of the spots that I want to be close to are so hard to see. Like,
Yeah, how would you even?
that, like, to
That's
me,
a
it's
damn
just
good
like,
point,
I'd
too.
rather take a freaking stab at it. And if I'm right, 5% chance I get a slam dunk shot.
That gets you into the
Or
first
95
sit conversation then too.
Yes, which the first, we can talk about that too. But I think with me being like, I'd rather
I didn't mean to move that on
No,
you,
you're
but
fine.
the camera was focusing on the water,
sorry.
not you, for some reason.
That's the way I wanted it. I just being always more aggressive. I've
Yeah.
always been more aggressive. And I remember watching, we were talking about Bill Winke show
Yep.
for that one shot placement. But like, I've always watched Bill Winke and admired him because he's very knowledgeable. But man, that guy and myself could not be further apart on the spectrum. He is a hunt the outer fringe only when the wind is absolutely perfect and like don't go anywhere near where these deer are going to be. And you just hope they come to you because he doesn't want to mess up his private. Where I'm like, I'm getting as close to that freaking deer as I can without busting them. That's how I've always been. That's why this postseason scouting stuff is so important for me and even summer scouting, because the more little pockets, the more little spots that I can find, the more hunts I can throw in the best place that I can think of for that.
Yeah, you're actually
And
almost becoming an early season hunter or killer.
My goal
Like,
for
you're
this
getting
year
a
is to
little
get one
better.
in September, man.
Like I've noticed when you're killing deer, it's getting a little bit sooner and sooner and sooner, which is also
I'm
good for your
trying.
family. I
I'm
think,
trying.
too.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I've really been trying at this early season stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the more you can get out at any time of the year, but especially this time of year, and try to find those early season little hideouts with the smaller rubs that look old and are grayed out, and that's what I'm looking for.
Well,
mostly.
Tony Mao just said, "Hey guys," and I think he had he's on YouTube from what I can see, and he had commented on your scouting video about like concern of laying down scent. So like this is a good time also because pretty free and clear of you don't have to worry about being aggressive or not. You're just going in to collect information. Maybe you'd find a shed. I don't know.
Yeah, the only real concern you have right now with bumping deer is if you're on a property that you're looking to find sheds off of a buck or two or specific deer, you don't want to be in there messing with them all the time and bumping them out of there as they feel safe.
And public land is public land, so like
yeah, I mean,
who knows?
But I mean that would be your main concern. I am not concerned at all with what I'm doing now affecting next season.
Yeah,
not in the slightest. And Tony, I can remember where Tony's from, but I know it's not Wisconsin, right?
I don't remember either.
I think he's from somewhere a little bit further south than here. But like our deer, we've had a fairly easy winter. We had a lot of snow early, and now it's pretty much gone. But they do not traditionally winter in the same location that they're spending their summer and early fall months. Our deer tend to move a fair amount, like especially if it's cold and snowy. Our public lands down here do not have a ton of deer on them. They kind of vacate to higher ground with better food, from what I've seen over the last few years.
So you're not going to get as much active intel on public now
for like current sign stuff. But man, if there's very little snow, you can pick up beds like crazy.
Yeah, I saw you found one bed on your video. You're like, there's some hair, but not much hair. I was like, Jesus, of course you would say that. Like, I wouldn't know the difference between a lot of hair and not a lot of hair. I guess that makes, like, it's pretty obvious probably, but if you haven't come across enough, you wouldn't actually know.
Well, yeah, and then you go spring scouting, right? So you start getting into like later March, when deer start losing their coat or whatever beds they're using that time of year are going to be freaking loaded with hair. Oh my God, there's a doe losing her freaking winter coat. Like, you got to be careful. Like, you got to be careful. So yeah, there's a lot of little nuances you pick up on.
Anytime you come across something, you can always peel back a layer of context.
If you stop and think, like, we get so like fast paced and one track mind, like when you're looking for the stuff, like when you mentioned seeing the rub, oh my God, like it's so easy for that to happen. But if you just step back and just take it for what it is, really analyze it. It really is
Well,
helpful.
what's the movie I, Robot with Will Smith? Like,
It's good.
now you're asking the right questions.
Yes.
Dude, I'm still trying to figure out what the right questions to ask in those moments are. Like, why was this bedded here? Why is there a lot of fur? Why is this rub? Like, I don't yet know all of the right questions to be asking of the situation based on what I'm trying to learn.
Well, it's kind of interesting. So, like, think of you hunted out of a spot very close to where I killed my buck this year, and you and I both saw a similar bedding situation where basically kind of where we walked in from. I think you saw a buck bed there,
There's
and
two
I
deer
watched.
popping up out of that.
There's like a little bush,
Yeah.
and there's cattails, and then there's like a little open area, and I watched. It was the buck that I had originally thought I was going to go in there and hunt. Nice, I think 3-year-old, big wide buck, 10-pointer, and I watched him bed under that shrub. And there's like, I'm like, why would they lay there? There's nothing around it. There's really not any
There's
shade.
water everywhere.
There's water all around. Like, maybe you just feel safe there. But like, you saw a buck bed there. I went in there the other day to go like pull the camera I had in there, and that bed was just blown. It was huge. Like, all the deer seem to like. I'm like,
And there's
scratching my
shit
head.
for hunters back there. Like, no one's I mean, I wouldn't say no one, but pretty much fucking no one's back in that.
It's a
there's-
weird.
It's
a weird spot.
terrible. It's terrible to get to. And I tried to get to it 1 or 2 times and failed.
I don't know if
And then I think I finally made it the one time when I got up at 3 a.m. like a psychopath.
I actually went and did a little scouting that day, like a psychopath. Guilty. But that area you went, that
I
next
shared
time,
every pin.
when you looped around,
Yeah.
and you came in from the other way. I went down that way and looked a little bit, and
That
there's some
looks
really
pretty neat over
there's
there.
some really good looking stuff over there.
I thought I was going to
especially
get real lucky on that one.
further-
Especially when I
further
saw
to
a
the
doe right
east.
away. I was like, dude, this is it.
Oh,
From the ground, like I love on the ground too.
I looked at all the stuff that would traditionally look good, that had cover and trees and brush, and then I just kept going out further into the nothingness, and there was like one bush out there, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go see if there's like a bed underneath that. Well, there wasn't a bed, but it got drier and drier ground. The grass got shorter and shorter, and this tree, dude, I took a video, I'll show you after, but there was scrapes around this tree, the one tree, and all the
It's the
branches.
only way they could communicate
There,
out
it
there,
looked like
probably.
someone
Huh?
took a shredder and like went around because all the branches, the looking branches, were ripped down, laying in the ground. That the scrapes were like dug in the ground because like they travel through there, but that's like one of the only dry ground
Yeah.
like spots. It was literally like a trough all the way around this tree, with just broken branches everywhere. I was like, "This is
Did a cow get out?
this
Like-
is nuts." Somebody trimming this tree out to hunt in the shrub. But it was kind of cool to see.
Well, it's been fun hunting a similar area because we had the one buck that was the same on 2 different cameras that
Yeah.
were fairly far apart. I mean,
That we
same
scouted in
region,
the
but
summer.
certainly not like super close.
Yeah.
And so compare notes on like travel time, day. Like we haven't done that comparative analysis yet. I don't have a lot past October, unfortunately, because that's the camera that got stolen. So I don't know when that
Mhm.
happened, but I think the batteries died and then it got stolen, or I don't know. Like I don't know what else could have happened to it. Maybe it dropped on the ground. I just missed it. But then we also hunted some similar areas because you're super kind and you're like, just go here, Eric. And I'm like, okay. But you're like, fuck you, because good luck. Because it's a death march. But kind of comparing a little bit of notes because, of course, I almost always end up in not the spot you tell me to go to. So
yeah,
then,
but that's also mostly
part of
my
it.
fault because in my brain it's just like, oh, it's just you just do this.
and you
But,
had
like,
give me like several
any
angles, several
normal
videos, several
human
pins.
is like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, so anybody who's ever hunted on one of my trees before, I apologize.
I
But
thought I was doing it smarter too because I wore my waders and I put my boots around my
you
neck.
did good.
And then I took my waders off and left them behind. Like I was like, I'm gonna do this and not get wet, which was a horse apiece. Because walking that far with waders on is no walk in the
Sucks.
park either.
Sucks.
It's stupid. And then
my dad got me waders for Christmas. I got this big box and I open it up and they're hip boots. Some hip
hip boots are
waders.
nice. I should
And
probably just get those. Those would be better
He's
than
like,
the waders.
yeah,
I had.
after that video you sent to you guys dragging that deer out, I figured you needed these. Those bags looked so dumb. And I was like, yes, they were. So thank you, Dad.
Oh, our dads are still smarter than us.
My last ones, I did the same thing. I used to buy these cheapy like frog togs. They were
Mhm.
like,
That's what I have. They're frog
were
togs,
like-
but they're like the insulated neoprene ones that,
Oh,
that are chest
mine
waders that you have
were
to step
not.
into with the boots built in.
these were
So-
just hip boots, but they were like, they're almost like a nylon. like fabric.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're very lightweight,
Okay.
not loud. So I would like wear them in. Well, they just got freaking holes ripped in them because you walk through like
Walk through all
one
nasty
thorn
shit.
patch or something. You know, like they're not made for that. So it's
Yeah.
like my fault. But
But duck hunters go through nasty shit. So like a lot of these the Sitka ones, they're like $1,800 or something.
that's why I don't have them, Eric.
I heard it best from Sitka when I was there a couple of years ago, and they said, first of all, they had to some degree admitted it's over-engineered for what most people use, but that means in the most extreme climates it'll hold up. But they said, you were selling to duck hunters, they need to stay warm and stay dry. And so it has to be built a certain way. And the price tag that comes with that, it's worth it because you have to stay warm and you have to stay dry. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. Like,
So you can't stand
typically
in
most deer
waist
hunters
deep
aren't going through water. Like most deer hunters I know, the average deer hunter is like, why are you doing this? What are you doing? Like, they're not fucking getting it.
Or maybe they are.
Like the Keegan,
not
I'll never
getting it.
forget when Keegan said, like, what are you, this is not where deer are. I'm like, dude, this isn't Lee and Tiffany's property. I'm telling you, this is where deer are going to be. And he's like, this is stupid. We need to go to the hardwoods. And I think he knows stuff. He's a very smart guy. He's a guide in a past life. Like, he does know shit. I was like, Keegan, in this particular situation, you are fucking wrong. And I know you think I'm an idiot, and I am, but I'm right about this.
Sucker.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so I don't know. And also, if it's cold enough, if it stays cold enough long enough, hopefully a lot of the stuff that we would be traversing through the waterways are frozen.
That's
So you can make quick work of a scouting mission. When you were retrieving cameras, was it frozen over, or were you breaking through shit?
When I retrieved cameras from a similar
It's the one spot the water's
similar
flowing a little
area
bit, but
back
not really.
by us, where you were kind of talking with Keegan. The last time I went back in there, it was frozen,
Okay.
just enough where I was not breaking through. It was making all sorts of cracky noises, but I was able to just freaking cruise.
My kids were thinking that was hilarious. I had to cross some water spots, and it was like, and I knew it wasn't going to break because I'm 200 some pounds. And I was like, guys, we're walking on some ice. And they're like, oh, it was pretty funny.
Spread your weight out.
Yeah.
Get them all.
But they thought it was like the best part. Are we on the ice, Dad? And they're like scraping through the bottom. Look at the ice. It's fun. Anyway.
Yeah, so I was able to skate through that stuff. If you got low snow and cold weather, that's the best time to scout for sure. I don't care how cold it is. Like bundle up and go because that you can
And you're
just
moving
fly.
anyways.
You can
it'll be
just
warm.
fly. And I was really glad I was able to get around a lot easier that day because I walked through an area close to where we did our deer drive that I've walked through a whole bunch. I know this is a little bedding area, but I've never been able to like put my finger on like, I know bucks are going in here, but like I've never found like the freaking beds like that I thought I would find. And I found them this time. So like I found this little pocket and I'm like, oh shit, there's like 3 beds right here that like, that's where he's living. And then on the way out, I found it was in that video. There's like a weird tree that grew outward and had like a weird rub on it. And like the back was rubbed. And that was like 50 yards from the beds on his way out. So I was like, if you're
Gotcha.
still alive or somebody moves in here, I might
Well, that's
know
the thing
where to
though, too.
find you.
You start to figure these spots out and you might have one buck pegged, but when you do that, you have a lot of bucks pegged because like there's a pecking order and vacuums start to exist. If a buck gets killed, it's only a matter of time before someone else moves into the penthouse
For sure.
because now they're king shit. So as they age up, they'll eventually like the deer are going to use the same terrain features that the bigger deer use because they fucking work by and large. Even if they get killed some other way, some other time, like you literally watched a deer walk into another dead deer's bed moments after the
That was
deer left the
insane.
bed.
Yeah.
And you had it on video. That was the most affirming, like real-time scenario I've ever witnessed
It was insane.
through your sharing.
It was the
I was like,
coolest
"What?"
thing ever.
So if deer do that, if you scout enough, like forget the buck and just know that there will be a buck.
Well, I would say like the
Is
tree.
that true?
The tree that I killed that deer out of this year in Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Like next year, if I play it right, like
You could do it again.
I'll be able to kill a buck there for sure.
But you probably won't
'Cause-
because like you are a maniac.
I might.
But you might because that was also like you kind of
There was a lot of good.
you
bucks
found some
in there.
exclusive public land.
some private public land.
It's really hard to find that.
It wasn't private, but it was a little bit less public. But yeah, like so we mucked it up getting that deer out. It wasn't diddly on the camera for a week ish, and then all of a sudden
That blew back up
it
during the
picked
run.
right back
I
up.
saw a
And
couple
there's
deer
a
out of that
real
spot.
nice buck that was in there a lot. Which I'm
That was the other
assuming
question I had for you about the
picked up-
trail cam.
Yeah.
How soon before or after I was there, were you seeing bucks? Did my fate, did it like, Eric, there was one 10 minutes after you left, or there was one 10 minutes before you got there, or was it like next week or the week before? Like,
Well, I'll
that's
have
what
to
I was.
look,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure nothing came by right after you left.
Fucking fell out of
Like
a
an
tree.
hour. They thought it was fighting bucks falling out of a tree.
I
That was
just
a
remember
crazy
getting pegged
story.
by that fucking spike out of the gate. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I know you just had to be fuming.
I was like, okay, well, this is fucked. If he sees me, this is a joke, right? Like, am I getting punked right now? Huh? Steve the Spike. He
You're
never
like, the
fully
only
had me,
way
but he
I-
had me, you know?
the only way I kill a big buck is if he comes in with his head fully up a doe's butt.
He came a different direction, it would have been a different story, but that one got me. And he also got me excited because I thought there's only big bucks back here and there's something coming. It must be a big one. And so I was like ready to go. And I was like, you shithead, you're looking right at me.
Shithead Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one thing about the winter scouting thing that I'm pretty excited to do, and I know I've been slacking so hard, and I've apologized 1,000 times, and apologize one more time for the dropping pins thing. I am going to be putting out a couple episodes here where we kind of talk a little bit more about what happened on those hunts and what the kind of thought was going in. But we are going to be starting a little video series.
You can talk about this as much as you want. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
care.
a little video series that I've kind of been wanting to do that's dropping pin style. So like when I have a guest on, but what we're going to do is I'm going to meet up, drive around. We're going to start fairly local-ish within 3 or 4 hours, but I've already got a number of people who are interested in doing it. Some killers, some guys I've had on the podcast sharing their like big takeaways. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to go meet up with them on probably a property that neither of us have ever been on.
Mhm.
And then we're going to discuss a little bit about what we're doing, what the idea is. And then they're going to take a 360 cam. I'm going to take a 360 cam. We're going to split. We're going to scout. We're going to bring you our thought process, where we're going, why we're going there, what we're finding, how you would hunt it. And then we're going to come back together later in the day and kind of take a look at what each other found and discuss like, okay, how would you get in here? What are you thinking about this spot? Would you go here? Which tree do you like? Kind of just walk viewers through like these guys who know what they're doing.
That's how they're thinking about it.
You know, I'm going to meet with them. Like, what are their thoughts when they're in the woods? So that as you gear up for February, March, get out there, hopefully there'll be some good visuals and some just good ideas discussed that you can hopefully put to use in your own scouting.
It's amazing. And if we think that you know a lot now, just wait till you start to chop it up with these guys.
Oh yeah,
The
that'd be
steel
fun.
sharpening steel thing's going to get real sharp really quick.
It's been fun.
It's going to be so cool. Well, I don't know. I don't have much else. It's kind of it. I mean, I think we're going to be rolling our regular schedule here. I think the week of shot is the end of this month. So is it the 20th is a Tuesday? We're not going to have a podcast that week because I'll be gone. But otherwise, we're going to start to bring guests back in. Big focal point is having them here in person whenever possible. That's what we want to do. That's not saying we won't do virtual. That's not the point. I think we're always going to have to accommodate that. But I'm always going to be pushing for in person. So if there's anybody you think we should be talking to as a listener of this show, let us know. But locality and like planning around when people are going to be coming through this area is going to be important. I also put a question out to Facebook. I didn't do it Instagram because just the way Facebook works, I can do a text post, and it just happened to serve the modality a little better. But I did kind of ask like, what are some things that you think we've done well or right, and things that we could improve upon? And one of the comments, it seems like Minnesota and Michigan are having some pain and some heartburn with our brand, in so far as they feel as though the way we talk about your tag, your hunt, may be perceived as overly promoting shoot small deer. And it's never our place to say don't shoot a deer. Like, our place is to say use your tag how you want to use your tag. It's literally your tag. But there was some pushback around like their deer herd is different than what we have. And so my response is, we're speaking to the nation of deer hunters. I'm not talking to just Michigan or just Minnesota or even just Wisconsin. We're talking to everybody. Like, our message is hitting everybody around the country. It's very obvious when you look at our interactions and our engagement. However, we're also, my other pushback point is I'm not a fucking wildlife biologist. So I don't know how to speak to some of that stuff around herd health and herd management. And we're also not QDMA. We're not talking about private property. We're talking about public land. We're doing our best to stay in our lane, to hit on our brand ethos of your tag, your hunt for the most part. I'm happy to talk about herd health. I think that's a better lane for us as opposed to QDMA. But we also hunt public land, not private. So like we need to stay in our lane.
Well,
but also to address that, my point was those are my pushback points. But we can meet you somewhere there. And we've had the DNR, the Wisconsin DNR at least, reach out to us in the past to want to come on our show. So we've accommodated that. We've had the wardens on our show in the past. I think we can do that a bit more this year, and because of the proximity and the desire for them to be on our show, I think we can find more avenues to talk about that stuff. From
maybe we can get a DNR biologist, someone who's dealing with these animal population counts and dealing with coming up with regulations for certain deer management units. That would be, I think people would have a lot of questions there.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like blindly trust the government, but also this is their living and livelihood. And most people that are working for the DNR aren't doing it for the money. They do it because they love it.
Yeah.
They certainly didn't go into that career path because they wanted to get rich. Like, just like an educator, no offense. Like, it's
none taken, my friend.
So if they're talking about the biology and they're coming up with a census and how to distribute tags, like, I'm going to mostly trust that. And therefore, if I'm putting my trust in the DNR to distribute tags to the hunting population, how I choose to fill my tag shouldn't have that big of an implication on the herd.
Well, yeah, and just to that,
logically breaking that down.
To the comments and feedback that you got, which thank you for
maybe
giving
you've seen some
feedback.
of that. I'm not sure or not.
Yeah,
I do want people to know that we're listening to them and we want to make an effort.
And I think a lot of people would agree that like we're in no way trying to tell anyone what they should or should not shoot, or like what's good for their herd. Like, we're not telling you to shoot small deer. We're not telling you to only shoot big deer. We're just saying when someone does decide to pull the trigger, that was their choice. So like whatever you have to say about it is not going to change the death or the harvest of that animal. So just be kind. That's all we're saying.
Yep.
So like if you would rather shoot a doe than a 6-point buck that's standing there because those antlers mean nothing, then shoot the doe. If the 6-point antlers are really cool and you want those, then shoot the 6-pointer. That's all we're saying. Just do what makes you happy and just try to heed others' situations.
Well, there's some folks that don't. I think some of the exposure we've had has opened us up to a larger audience of people who don't know us well enough.
Yeah.
Much like the first time I ever came across a Gary Vee post, I was like, this guy swears a lot and he's full of himself. Then you start to peel the layers back and you get to like know someone through their content. And so like, if you're going to judge us based on a 15-second clip, because that's what most of them are, you might want to peel the layers back a little bit. We have long segment YouTubes. We have this over an hour podcast every week. Typically it's over an hour. We have editorial content on our website. Like, there's more than a 15-second post. If you want to stop reading a headline and read our website and our mission and get to know us, like, you'll find there's a little bit more going on here than just shoot spikes. Like, that's not, it's hard because that's what our logo is, but the logo is that way to show that we intentionally mean there's more to the inches of the antler because the memory is greater than the antler. It's like a very intentional design of the logo to get you to stop and think.
Meant to be eye-catching in that kind of way.
So some people see it and they go, oh, these guys are just trying to promote shooting spikes. So again, some of that's their own fault, but take a second.
Well, shit. I mean, I think I'm leading the pack with the smallest buck probably ever killed on camera. My blacktail from Oregon. So
no, because the one I got last year was pretty small.
Was it smaller than that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That blacktail's like.
Well, my daughter had to ask if it was a doe or a buck. It's pretty small, but yeah.
But either way, like, there's always more to the story, just like you just said. So just.
Yeah, that's it. There's more to the story, and you don't have all the people. And they might see like Derek's from Wisconsin. That must be a Wisconsin buck. Well, look, there's fucking mountains in the background. Like, no, it's from somewhere else, and it's a different story. So anyway, just a little bit of what we're trying to do this year, and what we're trying more in-person guests, more Derek on camera as we build this room out, more fun with dropping pins and getting other people involved. So there is an educational aspect. We're not just lazy fat fucks that. Promote
after
nothing.
The last 3 weeks, I don't know if I can be called anything other than that.
We do strive for improvement and continual education and doing what's right, but right by you. And everyone's at a different stage. We want to acknowledge that. So we're probably going to piss some people off. I think that comes with the territory, but hopefully we're not pissing most of you off. And if you're here listening to this podcast, you've already gone past those first layers and you're here for something greater. And we thank you for that. So stay tuned for more shenanigans this year.
Have a good one. Get out there in the woods.
See you,
It's beautiful.
everybody.
See you.